Cursed. Cursed.
What is up? 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 I hope everyone's doing well today. It's been a while. It has been a while since we really streamed, since I streamed by myself. It's been a couple months to recharge the batteries a little bit, kind of put our hands on this roster going into training camp and really seeing what we have, because I think this is going to be one of the most exciting off-season programs we've had in a long time. I think there's a lot going on. And, I've said some things this offseason people don't like, they like. That's the nature of the business. It is what it is. I'm hoping, this team is back to what it should be. And I think the number one thing really going forward is to really make sure that this coaching staff is on point with how to use these players on our roster. So it's just becoming one of those things now where we're thinking what things are going to happen and the situations. We could talk about anything tonight. So love you all for joining, recharge the batteries a little bit, and we are back. To let you guys know, we'll have the shakedown tomorrow night. Shakedown is back. And then we'll have a big reveal next week on some merch and some other stuff. So very excited. Very excited. Let's hear everybody in the chat. We got Jennifer Mock. What's going on? It says Keenan. What's going on? That's your name. Fahim Muhammad Senior. What's going on, man? Joker's Oblivion. Showing off. What's going on, dude? Daniel Berry Sports. Bill Cowan. What's going on? Philly Flyover. Hebrew Hammer. What's going on, dude? Willis Jackson. What's going on, guys? Chris Scott. What's going on, guys? Oh, well, this is, we got a few days. That's it. We got a few days, and I'm excited about the camp battles. I'm excited about, wide receiver 3, right guard. What's going on with this cornerback position with now Isaiah Rodgers kind of making some noise between OTAs, obviously mini camp. James Bradbury trade, is it going to happen? What's going on with Quinyon Mitchell? How are they going to, the depth at corner is fantastic right now. Really good corner room. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be really interesting. There's a lot to really feast our eyes on going into camp, and we'll see where we're going. So, I'm here for you guys. Whatever you guys want to talk about. What do you guys think about this offseason so far? I haven't talked to you guys on a live stream in a while, and I thank you guys for joining today. So thank you guys so much for coming in. What's going on here? 125850 says, do you expect that the NFL will nullify the Reddick trade because he wasn't in OTAs? Missed training camp? No, that's never going to happen. The Jets made a trade. Okay, the Eagles and Jets made a trade, and whatever that Reddick had planned, with the Jets, that's really on them at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So they can't nullify anything. It's over. It's done. The Eagles gave up a 26 third-round conditional that could turn to his second if he gets over 60-something% of the snaps, 10-plus sacks. I'm kind of over the Hassan Reddick bullshit as of right now. It's just to a point where it's just old news now. Bryce Huff is here. Do I still think they need to add another body at defensive end? A Yank Ngakwe, something like that? Sure. I mean, I don't see why not. But we'll see. 2-6 Sports Podcast. If you think Sidney Brown has the big impact the second half of the season, you know what? The hardest thing for him. So we saw that Sidney Brown is on the PUP list right now. So Sidney Brown apparently isn't ready to practice yet. So if the Eagles didn't put Sidney Brown on the PUP list by training camp, the start of training camp, then he can't get on. So then he would have to practice. Obviously, then he would be active. So he's not ready yet. So this affects the safety group probably a little bit. That injury he had last year, the ACL that he had last year. I mean, he's running full sprints. He's doing great things. So I guess they're just going to take their time with him. And then the hardest thing is when you miss we don't know how much time he's going to miss of this offseason program. So if he misses a lot of time, then it's going to be really hard for him to come back. You could sit there and watch practice and learn the terminology, mentally. But if you're not playing and you're not practicing and you're getting the game speed in your system and you're not going out there and getting game reps, it's going to be tough for him to come back second half of the season. So I'm very excited for him. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping he comes back before preseason or at least before joint practices with the Patriots. I think is it the Patriots or the I forgot who we're doing joint practices with this year. So I'm hoping that's the case. We'll see, though. We'll see. What's going on, Philly Strong? Hector Foguera, what's going on, dude? Spa City, what's going on, man? I missed all you guys, by the way. I really did. Missed all you guys. Talking to myself for the past couple months has not been easy because, I've been driving myself insane. Fahim says, what's up, Joey? I'm ready for the season to start back. I'm ready too, dude. I'm ready, man. This is one of the most important off seasons we've ever had because this for me is like now or never. There's no excuses this year. I'm going to be very critical of this team this year every week when it comes to Jalen Hurts, when it comes to his coaching staff, when it comes to play calling, when it comes to everything. And all these reports coming out between Hurts and Sirianni and that one of Brian Johnson the other day, I'm not shocked over it because I talked about this middle of the year last year. Brian Johnson was just calling plays last year. This was Nick's game plan. Just didn't have this team prepared. We never adjusted to defenses adjusting to us. The 10-play playbook. Sirianni really hung himself, really did. And I 100% know right now that Fangio and Kellen Moore have all the control. At least we know we have somebody to blame if things go wrong. We're not going to sit there like, who's controlling this offense? You know what I mean? So we'll see. Showing off what's going on, man. It says, yeah, the corner, guard, and linebacker battles is going to be interesting. It is. I'm excited to see what Trotter Jr. is going to bring to the table. Can Nakobe Dean stay healthy? Devin White and Zach Bond have really been the two linebackers that have been starting between OTAs and minicamp. And I think that's really going to continue going forward. So, I really like, Ben Van Simmeren. I think the athletic ability is there. It's just really terminology. So I think there's a lot of good things to take from it. Like the linebacker spot a lot. Says Trashberry has no value. You can't even get a Chick-fil-A meal for him to be lucky to get a 7th-round pick for him. No, probably not. At this point, it's like you're going to take the $10.5 million dead cap. You're going to save 1.2 if you flat out release him. But you're going to have to take somewhat of a big cap hit for it. So I don't know what they're... Dude, if Bradbury stays, that means that one of our young corners, whether it's Ricks or somebody, they're going to end up going somewhere. They're going to end up getting cut off this team, going to another team, and then producing for another team. That's really going to piss me off, beyond going to piss me off. So I'm hoping to God that I just, at this point, if Bradbury's not a part of your future, what's the point? You drafted Quinyon Mitchell in the first round. Cooper DeJean, is he going to play inside? Are they going to move him to safety? Isaiah Rodgers is a starting quality corner right now. He's a starting quality corner. Keely Ringo had some good reps last year. Eli Ricks had some good reps last year. There's way too much great youth. You have Maddox coming back. You have, obviously, Tyler Hall, Zach McPherson, Josh Jobe. Mekhi Gardner and Mekhi Gardner and the guy from Clemson, that corner from Clemson a couple years ago, they're probably going to play safety this year. So I love the room entirely. I love it. What's going on, Hector? Philly Flyers said, I only worry about the linebacker situation. I like Baun and Devin White, but 17 games, 100% of the snaps. I don't think they could do that. Oh, dude, Devin White. I don't know why people are trashing on Devin White so much, man. I mean, I think he's the best linebacker in our group right now. I think this is a different situation this year. The only issue I have is that you only have 2 linebackers on multiple year contracts. Trotter Jr. and Nakobe Dean are your only guys, really, theoretically. Okay? And that's a problem. Because I think after this year, if Devin White or Zach Baun plays well, I think you have to re-sign one of them. You're going to have to. I think Devin White's going to play really well. I think he's going to revive his career this year. I think Fangio loves him. You're going to see what Devin White does. Zach Baun was a defensive end, transition to an off-ball linebacker. Had a couple picks last year with the Saints. He's got a lot of, with his coverage, he's very good in his coverage ability. So I could see why they like these 2 guys a lot. But I'm really pushing for Nakobe Dean to do something at this point. And really, I can't say that Nakobe Dean is good or bad because the guy's not available. And honestly, Trotter Jr., I'm rooting for the kid entirely, but he's got a long mountain to climb up right now. So I understand linebackers like, oh my God, we're going to panic about linebacker. I'm not panicking as much because training camp hasn't started yet. I need to see what we have and then, kind of make up our mind by that time. So we'll see, we'll see what happens in the coming days. Chris says Simmons will be here and Simmons will be here soon and Bradbury will get traded to Arizona for a 26 6th-round pick. Now, I think the Falcons, you said Arizona, interesting. There's a lot of teams out there that still need some veteran corner leadership. So Justin Simmons is interesting because I feel like with him right now, he's waiting to sign with a team, but it looks like he wants his money. I don't know how much he's actually going to get paid because at 31 years old, there's just going to be a team out there that might give him a little bit more guarantees this year. But I don't think he's going to come to the Eagles as a backup player. For me right now, with Sidney Brown out and obviously not knowing if Cooper DeJean is going to play safety this year, okay, I don't know if, Justin Simmons, I don't know if it's really going to be on the table right now. I think there is interest there. Obviously, Eddie Jackson, he signed with the Ravens the other day, if you guys didn't see, okay? And Eddie Jackson had probably his second year was his best year under Fangio. And then kind of fell off after that, after he left with the Bears. So I don't know what they're doing at safety. I mean, I feel like there's not much depth there, to be honest with you. You have that Andre Sam kid from LSU, couple other guys, Gardner and a couple other guys. So I mean, it's Reed Blankenship. I don't know. I've been fighting with people left and right about Reed. Like I think Reed is a solid player. Does anybody think that Reed Blankenship is some bona fide safety? I think is a good safety. He's here for another year throughout the 2025 season. So the Eagles extended Reed Blankenship, which is great. It's a great thing. But the only problem I'm having right now is I just feel like there's not much competition to give. And I know Chauncey's going to start regardless, but at least with Reed, because I don't think Reed's coverage ability is great. I think Reed's a great in the box safety, contact safety. I think he's great, but as his coverage ability, I don't really love him too much, So we'll see. Yo, Kay, what's going on? Thank you for joining me tonight. Daniel Maldonado, what's going on, man? Says, what do you think about this 22 Eagles? Time of possession was ranked 7th in the NFL in 23. It dropped to 14th in the league. I think time of possession will be a key component. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, look at our playbook last year. I mean, do you honestly think our offense was going to stay on the field for that long last year? We didn't have one. We didn't destroy a team last year. When did our offense, score 35, 30 plus on a team last year? I mean, really, it never happened. It was ugly game after ugly game after ugly game. Like, what got us by to 10-1 was our roster. Obviously, other teams making mistakes on us, but obviously some bona fide plays from some of our players and our talent. I mean, our talent can only bring it. The talent can only bring it so far, and Yeah, I mean, you were able to get first downs last year. It's second and short, third and short. DeAndre Swift just had a big run, and then you just sub him out. You put Gainwell in. The substitutions made things really, besides the play calling, no crossers, no hot routes, no using middle of the field. The cover zero blitz killed Jalen Hurts all year. So I get it, dude. Time of possession, yeah, it should be better this year entirely. Should be on the field a bit longer. Let's see. Bill counts that this has to be one of the most significant seasons in the team's history. Last season is behind us now. Let's go. Yeah, I get it, dude. The only time I really mentioned last year is really when I'm comparing players to what happened last year, and that's really it. And obviously all this news has been coming out on, work in progress relationship between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni and what really happened, all this BS from last year. So I get it. Hebrew Hammer says, Justin Simmons makes too much sense with Sidney Brown on PUP and wanting to impact a contending team. Dude, I get it. But the main question is, like, what do the Eagles think about? I mean, all I'm hearing news-wise about the safety spot is the Eagles are trying to add another body. The Eagles need help at safety. They need help. That's what I'm hearing. Every single thing that I hear is they need help at safety. Is it because they don't trust Reed Blankenship as the starter? You know what I mean? Justin Simmons is a great player. I mean, on a 1-year deal at 31 years old, I mean, I don't see why not. You know what I mean? I don't see why not. So, we'll see how it goes, but it does make sense. But like I said, the only problem is, like, I think Justin Simmons wants to get paid, and number two, he doesn't want to sit behind anybody. I mean, Justin Simmons isn't waiting this long to be a backup. I mean, that's the way it's going right now. You know what I mean? That's how it's going. We got our first super chat of the new season. Thank you so much, TL Hopkins, for the super chat. Thank you so much, dude. Says, you ready for some football, Joey? Hall of Fame game in 12 days. The first look at Caleb Williams. He's going to play 50 snaps just trying to watch football, bro. No, I get it. I totally forgot about the Hall. Dude, the last thing I've been worrying about is the Hall of Fame game. But I'll definitely be watching, no doubt. We're going to be streaming all the preseason games this year. I mean, Sunday ticket is like $450 this year. I mean, it's insane if you're not living in the state where you can watch football, watch your local team. But, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Caleb Williams does with the Bears. The Bears have a monster roster between wide receiver, DeAndre Swift, their running back, offensive line is set. Really, it's going to be all on Caleb Williams and the play calling at the end of the day. So, very excited about it. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. K. Robinson says, everybody is dwelling on last year entirely too much. This is a new season. We can't change last year. No, I get it. Look, it's a hard pill to swallow, Kay. It's a really... Trust me. I mean, to get to 10-1 and fall, I mean, the reason why people keep talking about it is because it's one of the biggest crumbles I've ever seen in this franchise. It's one of the biggest crumbles I've ever seen. Okay? We got exposed, and then teams just piggybacked off of what other defenses did to us offensively. And the coaching staff was just a disastrous joke. Like, Nick, I'm not forgiven him yet. Until I see what I see this year, and we'll see what happens, you know? Daniel says, we can't forget last year because it never fixed. We still don't know if it is fixed. We're just hoping, and it's looking good so far. That's what I'm hoping. So the good things to take out of it is it looks like the players are happy. The receivers feel like there's more creativity. Lane Johnson says we actually have a guy that knows what he's doing. You know, like there's things being said. Devontae Smith at his celebrity softball game said some things about Sirianni, that Sirianni is learning to take a step back and not having that ego. And, you know, knowing if you're bad at something, don't continue to do it. That's what I'm saying. So Nick's on a short leash this year, and you're going to let your coordinators coordinate and call plays and do their thing. What is the one thing they hired this offseason between the coaching staff? What is the one word you think of? It's experience. They have hired not only experience at both coordinator spots, but they have hired experience at a lot of the positional coaching as well. of 8 to over 10 years of experience. But a lot of these, whether they're ex-defensive coordinators or whatever, there's a lot of there is a lot of experience here. So Chris says starting secondary will be Rodgers, DeJean, Slay, Chauncey, and Sibbons. Interesting. It's making me nervous that Quinyon Mitchell's a first-round pick, and I feel like Isaiah Rodgers is going to take that spot if Bradbury's gone. I mean, it's not a bad thing. The last thing I really want is a first-round pick to be redshirted, because I know that DeJean is going to be moved. He's a Swiss Army knife for the defense. He's going to be moved all over the place when he's needed, okay? We'll see how that goes. But when it comes to Bradbury getting traded, Isaiah Rodgers just, it's without pads. I get it. Take it with a grain of salt during OTAs and minicamp. But it's going to get crazy, dude. Like corner is going to be nuts. Hebrew says Simmons would start over Reed and DeJean will eventually start at nickel. Yeah, potentially that could happen. It could happen. Look, I could see them signing Simmons if they feel like Reed could be look, they could do 3 safety sets. They could do a lot with this defense where Reed's going to get a lot of snaps this year. Okay. Justin Simmons better? Yeah, probably. But DeJean starting at nickel is going to be interesting. Now, Avonte Maddox, we know they moved him to safety. They kept him at nickel. I mean, he was a late signing, so I don't think Avonte Maddox is promised a starting job at all. And he's got to stay healthy. He's been a hot mess when it comes to his health. We all know this, okay? We lost McPherson and Maddox last year, and that screwed everything up. Those were literally your starting 2 nickel guys. And then you had to rotate nickel corners all year. And they put Bradbury on the inside a few games. They put Eli Ricks. They put, guys that don't even play on the inside. And that screwed a lot of stuff up last year, having those 2 injuries to both of those guys. I mean, Zach McPherson looked really good in the offseason program last year. I mean, they even threw him on the outside. He played outside and inside corner, so he was trying to, have a little bit of diversity when it comes to where he's starting in the secondary, which is good. So starting him at 2 different spots was great. Philly 416 says, new season, new offense, new defense, new hopes. I agree. Vijay 5.1.4 says, I just want Justin Simmons still an undrafted free agent. Why not? He could use the depth at safety. Well, I think part of it, dude, part of it is that he waited. These older veterans, they want to wait after free agency. They want to wait till after the draft. They want to wait until there's an injury during training camp to sign, like where they know that they're going to get that starting spot. They don't want to sign early to a team and then they decide to throw somebody else in front of him. So I feel like more it's because he wants a little bit more money and he wants a starting spot. I mean, that's why these older veterans wait so long. Whether they're good, mid-tier, okay, I don't even know what other safeties are available right now at all. I don't even know. You know what I mean? So I'm not really sure. So Chris Scott, member for 33 months. Man, that's a long time, dude. Thank you for being a member for that long. He says, Shakes, Gabe Hall will make the team. Now, Gabe Hall's the undrafted free agent from Baylor. Gabe Hall actually got drafted to a UFL team. This is weird. This is like a few days ago? He got drafted to a UFL team. So if Gabe Hall doesn't make the team, Gabe Hall can make the decision to go to the UFL and start. He got drafted in the first round or something like that. I don't know if these drafts are on TV or not. I didn't even see clips of it, so I'm not really sure. So I think Gabe Hall will be the backup nose for Jordan Davis. We'll see what happens. We've been hearing news on Cam Hayward trade going on. Add more. I think they need to add another defensive lineman. That's what I think. Whether it's an edge guy, a DT, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, you have Milton Williams. I still think they should add one more guy, whether it's an edge or it's going to be somebody in the middle there. So Cam Hayward's 35 years old. He had a groin injury last year. He only had like 26 tackles and 2 sacks. 23 tackles, 2 sacks last year. And then 2 years prior to that, he had like 20 and a half sacks. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Vijay says, yeah, but he knows Fangio's defense and played with him as a perfect fit. No, 100%, dude. I mean, and Justin Simmons loves Vic Fangio. Like, you don't understand. Like, he loves the guy, Matt Weeks, what's going on, man? He says, I've come to the conclusion at this point we're not getting Simmons, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. It could be. But, you don't know what happens during training camp. Knock on wood, I hope everybody's healthy. And really it's staying healthy, throughout this process because, that's what happens during these offseason programs. Guys, that's why they lessen the preseason games and lessen the offseason program because, guys, I remember, what was it, a few years ago, like there was the most injuries in an offseason that we've seen, which was kind of nuts. So we'll see how that goes. King of Philly says Jalen Carter has Aaron Donald strength. I mean, he's going to have a breakout year this year. I mean, we know what Carter can do. We've seen it. When you have when you don't know how to blitz, you don't know how to stunt. Your corners are lined off 8 to 10 yards off the ball. Like, that's why I don't single anybody out last year from how bad this pass rush was. I mean, you have guys that don't know how to fast break tackle. We couldn't get 5 helmets to the football last year. I mean, just the adversity, sense of urgency. It just felt like as soon as one bad thing happened, like they just didn't care. Like, I mean, it just lingered throughout the whole year, Chris Scott says, Kellen Moore will be our head coach. Nick will move up to the front office next season. That could be it. If the Eagles do well this year, it's not because of Nick. It's because, you can't fire Nick if the Eagles do well, and it's all because of Kellen Moore. Okay? They can't fire him. They have to demote him as like an assistant head coach or something. Make him like an assistant head coach or something like that. I don't know. I honestly, guys, like, I don't even think Nick is really doing much even with the draft. Free agency. I don't think he was. I mean, he's a part of some things and conversations, but I don't think ultimately he's had like never final say and never having that much say on certain things this year. It's happened. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of crazy. Jamon Hopkins shouldn't have gotten rid of Kavon Wallace. Yeah, Kavon's played pretty good. He played pretty good with the Cardinals. I think he's with Tennessee now. He had a good offseason with us, and the Eagles decided to, I think they flat out cut him. I don't think they traded him. I think they flat out just cut him. But we didn't know how to use linebackers. Like, look what what's-his-face did. Kaiser White. Look what he did. He played well with Arizona. And Gannon used him like very aggressive. You know what I mean? So I can't put too much in players leaving and playing well because I know this coaching staff was subpar. Come on, you switched defensive coordinators middle of the year last year. That was the worst thing you could have done last year. The worst decision was made last year. So, Matt said, could we trade for Cam Hayward? Yes. Will we? Who knows? Oh, it's with everything. West Coast Philly, what's going on, man? He says, I have a lot of confidence in Reed. He has shown growth every year in the last 2 years, and the team loves him. Fly. Yeah, it's fine, dude. Like, I have no issue. Like, the only thing I question Reed on is his coverage ability. Other than that, I think the guy could play for us every single game. Michael says, Nick moving to coach softball. I mean, the guy had Pizza Hut, man. He had Pizza Hut. Matt doesn't want speculation to end the season to get underway already. Lloyd said Nick Sirianni is more of a team psychologist than anything. The coordinators both run their side of the ball. Nick is the cheerleader. Nick is fully the cheerleader. That's all it is, you know? And that's how he should stay. That's how, like, Nick is good at motivating players. But when Nick is game planning and then you're just giving the playbook to Brian Johnson, I mean, the news that came out from Diana Rossini the other day, it doesn't surprise me that Nick, you have a like, why didn't Brian Johnson get an offensive coordinator job? That's my question. You know why? Because he was given a game plan every week to extract onto the field every single week. You know what I mean? I don't know. Daniel Maldonado says Nick had to say in drafting Quinyon, his best friend was on Toledo's staff. But ultimately, he doesn't have final say. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell was the 5th best player on the board. As of all the positions, he was the 5th best player in the draft. So, realistically, I don't think it was Nick having say. Yeah, sure, maybe he has some connections over there. But at the same time, like, you know, I don't know. I think they just went best player available. I don't think Nick was the reason why they drafted him. I think they already liked him way before that. Let me see here. Eagles fans says Cam is a DT. We don't need him. We got the deepest defensive tackle depth in the league. Chill on wanting the big names. You don't want to pay attention every time Ojomo was on the field. He made plays. Ojomo definitely flashed at the end of the year last year. He definitely did. Can he carry that out? We'll see. Do we have the deepest defensive tackle depth? I don't think so. I don't think that at all. I think the defensive line is subpar right now. I don't think this defensive line is like other years being so deep. Losing Fletcher Cox in rotation took a hit. We all know that. Jordan Davis is going to his 3rd year right now, and he really, he's got to play well. If he doesn't, that's it. He'll play for one more year and be gone. Jalen Carter's talented. Bryce Huff's a great player. Nolan Smith, not his fault, but there's no availability. Jalix Hunt's your 3rd-round pick. I mean, I hope Jalix Hunt is the big mystery player that's going to just explode. And Milton Williams, I think, has gotten better every single year. So I like Milton. I like Jalen Carter. I like a lot of the guys. I don't think this defensive line is as deep as everyone. Yeah, I mean, deep is one thing, but is it? Oh, I was about to say something. I was about to say something. That was going to be so wrong. You have a rotation, but is every guy going to produce on the rotation? That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, I was going to say something really bad. I was like, it's going to be real deep and real. Yeah, no, not going to happen. Pause. No Diddy. No Diddy. What's going on, Rock? E-Money, what's going on? Extend Milton now. Yeah, it's the last year. It's a contract year. Contract year for Josh Sweat. Contract year for Milton Williams. Brandon Graham's going to retire most likely after this year. You know who I'm really excited about going to camp? I think the 2 stories I'm actually really pumped about that nobody's really talking about in the chat right now, okay, is John Ross and obviously Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton, I'm really excited about because he's been literally the backup for the whole offensive line. This is a guy that plays left tackle, right tackle, and is now playing guard, and potentially could kick out the tackle in the future. You know, when Lane Johnson retires in a couple years, I think they could have him at right tackle in the future. We'll see. John Ross, I think, is an amazing story. I think it's like one of those, man, he shouldn't have retired. He knows he shouldn't have retired. As the 9th overall pick in 2017, a lot of pressure on him, getting injured, going to another team, a few teams, so I get it. And at 20, was he 28 years old, whatever? I think those are two of the most exciting ones for me going into training camp, and seeing how that goes. Fahim, I was just Nolan Smith was barely getting any playing time. Yeah, well, that's the problem, man. See, that's why when you trade Hassan Reddick, and obviously how this Hassan Reddick situation looks, it looks like we dodged a bullet because that man's acting like a complete idiot, not showing up to OTAs. They started training, not even showing up to train. I mean, not even showing up to anything. Like, how do you trade for? Like, when you trade, when we signed Bryce Huff, it's not like we signed Bryce Huff, didn't give him a big contract, and he just doesn't go to practice. You know what I mean? So it's just, I question some of this shit sometimes. If Nolan Smith produced last year, it's not his fault because I know he got hurt a couple times. Sean Desai was asked the question in the middle of the season, like, hey, why aren't you using Nolan Smith? Oh, there's only so many guys you could give snaps to. He's a first-round pick. Like, he's got to play, dude. So far, I know it's no pads. I didn't hear his name at all, barely, during OTAs and minicamp. So we'll see what happens. He's been working his tail off this offseason. Been working with Kwity. He's been working with Kwity Paye on some of his offline movement. So we'll see how it goes. If Nolan Smith produced last year, it would have made me feel more comfortable to get rid of Hassan Reddick for nothing. If he was a cancer to this team, or, because let's be honest, Hassan Reddick will give you numbers, but he's not consistent. He's a streaky player. He gets you 7 sacks in 1 month. The next month he'll give you nothing. Okay? And he's not good on off-ball coverage. He's horrible. So I get why this trade went down, but at the same time, I think more actually happened. I think a lot more happened than we realize, to be honest with you. Just saying. I think so. That's where I'm at with the whole entire situation as of right now. We got 123 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys have not. We cover the Eagles every single day. Hit the subscribe button. Like the stream if you guys haven't. Get those likes up. Thank you so much. The first stream back. I feel really good. I feel energized. I feel recharged. I feel great. Check the pinned comment for memberships for extra content this year. And the pinned comment above. Check the description below for the Philly Shakedown podcast merch. We have a big reveal coming out next week. The 30th is the release date. The 29th, I'm going to run a stream and show you guys some of the new merch that is coming out. We're calling it the Redemption Line. So we have a lot of cool stuff coming out, and it's going to be great. So me and Philly have been working really hard on it, and all that great stuff. So make sure to tune in for the Shakedown tomorrow. We come back tomorrow. We come back, baby. Back again. Eagles fans, I don't care about Reddick. He's gone. Let him do his Black Samurai thing. Well, people... yeah. His Black Samurai thing. Yeah, it's like, hey, the Jets are in training camp, and here's Hassan Reddick in Japan, like, walking around with, I don't know, that I don't know what it's called. That Japanese, people like the long robes with I think, didn't he have like a katana too? I don't even know if he had something. I don't know what it was. If it's Nolan Smith or Jalen Hunt have to show up this season, this is Graham's last year. Well, Jalen Hunt's a 3rd-round pick. Like, how much pressure do you put on him? You know what I mean? And Nolan Smith, yeah, I can't blame Nolan Smith for last year. I told you, Joey 500, that had to be the reason why I didn't want to keep him at 25 a year. Oh, that's what he wanted. He wasn't getting that. He wasn't getting that. The problem that I'm having with the Reddick situation is that the Eagles had everything. The Eagles had the control. They had the leverage. Like, Reddick couldn't do anything. Like, they could have just said, no, you're not going anywhere. You're playing on your last deal for $14, $15 million, and that's it. and then they just got rid of him. So I'm hoping to God we get that second round pick for 26. That would be great. You know, I mean, just think about it. That 26 second rounder. That could be compensation we can use in a trade for next offseason in 25. Like I will, you know, add that. You know, who knows? You know. Matt says, "How smart will Howie look if Jets end up releasing Reddick in the end after we trade him to them?" Yeah, I mean, I'm already feeling good about the trade because something definitely is not adding up here. Something happened behind the scenes. I don't know what. I mean, it had to do with money. I don't know. The Jets trade for a player that they really need for their defensive line, and then he doesn't even show up. He goes to the facility. He's shaking all the players' hands, and then the head coach for the Jets says, "Oh, I haven't met with him yet." I mean, he hasn't even talked to I mean, that was weeks ago. Hasn't talked to Salah didn't even talk to Reddick yet at all. Reddick is not our problem. F him. I agree, dude. I agree. I only talk about it if people ask about it, you know, so I'm not going to ignore people just because who cares about Reddick? Like, people want to talk about it, and so we talk about it. Who cares? It's not the end of the world. Vijay says, who cares? He's not our problem. No, I get it. Eagles fan says he hates Sirianni. They had to let him walk. Maybe. Case says that he would be sitting out like he is doing now and frolicking and what? What is that? What is that word? In Japan? Michael Kerr says it's all about money, and the Eagles knew this was going to happen. He should get some kind of bag. I'm not saying that Reddick doesn't deserve the money he's getting, but $25 million? No. Not with us. East Camp for Life says Reddick was going to hold out on the Eagles too. I mean, so yeah, that's his problem. If he wants to lose money and hold out, that money, that whatever money he loses during the season is going to go straight back into the Eagles cap space. So that would be on him. That would be on him. You know? It's not on us. Hell no. Matt says some people try to discredit Devontae Smith leaving all out on the field in the playoffs and try to discredit A.J. Brown being MVP when we needed him to be, despite us crapping the bed. Oh, dude, like, you had the tale of two. I'm hoping this is the first year. Like, I understand, like, two receivers can't have two different. You can't distribute the ball to everybody every single game. Like, hopefully with Kellen Moore's offense now, it's going to be very diverse, and he's not ignoring any position. He doesn't waste any strand of talent when it comes to offense. He doesn't ignore a position. He doesn't do any of that. Devontae Smith in that playoff game, like, was really, I mean, Devontae Smith is, we were able to keep both of these guys. Like, you had Devontae Smith for 5 years, including this year. So they used that loophole they picked up his option, and then they extended him like another, 3 years after that. And then A.J. Brown gets paid. You know what I mean? We are in our golden years right now of how good this roster is. And the only problem I have is this coaching staff. Can this coaching staff put our players in the right position to win football games, to win a championship, our second? We should have won it in 22. I'm still not over that shit. I never will be. Okay? But when you have incompetent coaches, that's what happens. Shit the bed in the big moments. Or all year. You know? VJ says Saquon over under 1,200 rushing yards, Joey. I think he's going to be over, and I think he's going to have 300 to 400 receiving yards for the year. So, Saquon Barkley, man. Did you see that video that came out the other day? Saquon just training, like his little hype video he made on his Instagram, and he uploaded on X. God, man, I just can't believe we have him. And how the Giants and their offseason and their what's it called? The Giants, the fucking show, whatever it's called. Hard Knocks. Holy shit, dude. Did they completely just disrespected him. I mean, they say, you know, we want you so. It's like, here's me saying, hey, we want you so bad. We're going to let you, we want you so bad. We want you a Giant for life, but we want you to walk in the free agency, see what your value is, and we'll try to match that offer. Like, you don't let a player walk into free agency if you want him bad that much. Like, John Mara, I actually felt bad for John Mara. He was like, if we lose Saquon, I'm not going to, if Saquon goes to the Eagles, I'm not going to sleep at night. Like, that's like, and to be honest with you, the Eagles offered, really the contracts were very similar. The contracts were between $12 to $13 million each. The Eagles paid just a little tiny bit more, barely. The Eagles offered, I think, $1 million more in guarantees. $1 million more, just $1 million. That's it. So, if that's the case, Saquon just was done. I don't think the Giants even offered. The Giants talked about the offer, what it was on Hard Knocks. They didn't actually call Saquon's agent and actually give him an offer, which makes it even worse. I think the Giants will have a good defense this year. Offensively, they're going to have issues. I don't care if they have Neighbors. You don't have a quarterback to throw to Neighbors. Daniel Jones is making $40 million a year. Like, what happened to this guru of a coaching staff with, you know what I mean? With Martindale and Brian DeBoll, the offensive mind, and Mike Kafka, and like this, like the coaching staff is horrible. Like, you draft a great receiver this year, and you have no one to throw him the friggin' ball. Like, they don't draft in specific moments of what they need for their roster. That's where it kind of, you know what I mean? I don't care. They're stupid. They're stupid over. I'm from New York, okay? I have friends that are Giant fans. I trust me, like, they're not happy about it. Trust me. Fitness Rover says Saquon will get over 1,500 plus total yards. Total yards, as in like rushing and receiving? I think so, 100%. I believe that. DJ says G-men are stupid for fumbling the bag for Saquon. Fahim Muhammad says, who cared about New York Giants? Rock says, where's Saquon at, Joey? Stop teasing me. Matt, I already said it multiple times. This is it for me. This is it for Nick for me. If he screws it again this year, he's got to be sent packing. It's not, if the Eagles are successful, he's not going anywhere this year. Even if he has nothing to do with this offense, he's got, if everything falls down, like if the offense is playing well all year and like Fangio completely fails, then I don't think it's on Nick. If this offense fails, I think they get rid of Nick. I don't see Kellen Moore failing that much. I honestly don't see it. Because I really think Kellen Moore is not the rah-rah type coach, but he's an X's and O's type guy that's going to put his players in successful, in winning situations. That GM will get fired at the end of the season. Yeah, Joe Schoen. Joe Schoen is one of the most passive, one of the most non-aggressive GMs I've ever seen. And, like, he lies to his players straight to their face. Like, that's why I don't even want to see this team on Hard Knocks. Like, I don't even want to friggin' know. I don't even want to know what's going on. Sometimes you do want to know, but, man, that makes it look worse. The Giants haven't built an offensive line for Saquon since he's been drafted. Every free agent that they sign either gets hurt or they're a total. Every free agent they sign is a total bust or injury prone. They never gave a number one receiver for Daniel Jones ever. No offensive line. I mean, it's the same shit every single year. And here you have Saquon Barkley that has a good relationship with Miles Sanders because they talk all the time. And Saquon does, I think not just Eagle fans, I think everybody in the world, okay, every rival fan or every fan in the NFL always want to see Saquon Barkley play for another team because any other roster would be a better roster than what he's dealing with now. So I'm happy for Saquon. I've always liked Saquon. I've always said to myself, man, that talent that he has, and they can't do nothing with it. And they don't. I mean, crazy. Dan says, we will always have the frequent coordinator change. That's how the organization works. We'll never win because we don't have consistent coordinators. Look at Mahomes with Reed in his ear for year. Well, yeah, because Andy's a head coach that calls plays, dude. That's why dude, the Kansas City Chiefs have had the same DC since 2019. They haven't barely changed their coaching staff. That's why they're successful. Because they don't make changes. Their DC has been there for 5 years. And we don't have a head coach right now. You have to keep your play calling at home with your head coach. You can't just, because if the Eagles are successful this year with Kellen Moore hasn't been a head coach yet. Kellen Moore almost had the job in Philly in 21 before Nick Sirianni came here. You keep your play calling in-house. Nick took nothing from Steichen's playbook. Nothing. I mean, all you have to do is look at tape and just say, okay, we're going to use this. We're going to use this. Nothing from Steichen's playbook. Nothing. QB draw, bubble screen. I mean, receivers are running into each other. Seriously. Route combinations taking too long to develop. Jalen Hurts has to rush out of the pocket and go nowhere with the football. Don't run the ball enough. That's the shit that I'm talking about. And it's aggravating. It's really aggravating. Chris Kaufman, what's going on, dude? Member for 10 months. Is NFC title win or he's gone? I probably have to agree with you, dude. You know, at this point, I'm not just trying to sneak into the playoffs. This roster offensively, besides wide receiver 3, which is going to be interesting this year because I think Anaya Smith is going to take the job. John Ross, I hope he makes the roster too. Depending on how many receivers are keeping, I don't know, 5, 6, not sure. Paris Campbell, we'll see what happens. Right guard, obviously. I think that will just fall into place. Not really worried about it. Not having Kelsey here. Somebody in the comment section the other day was talking about, Cam Jurgens is better than Kelsey. He's faster. I'm like, what? Cam Jurgens is no upgrade over fucking Jason Kelsey right now. I think Jurgens is good, but I don't think you have no upgrade. I think you have somebody that's going to be good, but I don't think you have somebody later, sure, down the road, sure. But right now on paper, he's no better. He's not better than Kelsey. Let's be realistic here. Matt says, I need Howie to even drag Nick out of the building by his ear if he has to get him out of here if he screws it up again. Well, how is he going to screw up this year? He's not calling the plays this year. I know for a fact that he won't be calling plays this year or game planning. The whole Nick being involved with the offense, our two schemes coming together is a dog and pony show. Okay, it's been a dog and pony show this whole offseason. Nick is just making himself look like he's involved because he knows he's going to get shit from the media. That's the only reason why. Okay? Nick can't run an offense. Nick is, and there's nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with hands-off coaches. Nothing wrong at all. There's hands-off. The Lions head coach, he's hands-off. He doesn't call plays. He keeps his guys motivated. That's his job. Keeps everybody in check every single week. That's what he does. And that's what Nick should do. I think the whole thing has been an act. Like, look at the draft, the war room, right? We watched the war room when the Eagles are about to pick, right? Where was Nick sitting in the war room? He was all the way. He was out of camera on the left side of the screen. You couldn't even see him. Nick isn't involved in anything, dude. Nick is keeping the players' culture together. Nick is really good at creating a culture and keeping it in the building. You know what I mean? 5-star, what up, Joey? I hope that you enjoyed your off season. Now it's time for some Eagles football. Oh yeah, I'm good, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Trust me. Daniel Maldonado said DeAndre Swift had 1,000 plus yards last year. We need Saquon to be more than yards. Yeah, he's going to be way more than that. Because you actually have a 3-down back. Like, you have a legit... The one thing the Eagles never did in the past was pay a running back. Usually our whole running back group would cost like $4 million for the year. Literally. You're paying Saquon $12 million a year for 2 years. Third year's an option year. But Saquon Barkley is going to be a big part of this receiving game. There's no doubt. Will Shipley... Kenneth Gainwell. We'll see how the rotation's going to go, but they have to run with Saquon early this season. They really have to run him. How many times did we check the football down last year to running backs? Barely. Check down was there for a lot of games. Never did it. Just imagine, with all the weapons around, all the attention around, Saquon is going to dump the ball. Jalen Hurts is going to dump the ball off on a check down to Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley and a defender one-on-one in open space. And Saquon's going to get those big chunk yards for us. Having Saquon just lined up in the backfield, just lined up, not even necessarily getting the handoff. Saquon Barkley is going to bring in one more defender in the box, which is going to create on play action, whatever play it's going to be. It's going to create a big play for one of these wide receivers going forward. Saquon being in that backfield is huge. Just lining up the attention he's going to get. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Scott. It's crazy. You know? Fahim Muhammad says, Kellen Moore going to be straight this year. I know in my heart the Eagles will make up from last year. It can't get worse. It can't get worse. You know what I really liked about the stuff that we heard about Kellen Moore too? Is that him and Jalen Hurts have gotten a lot closer this offseason. Like he's actually letting Jalen Hurts be involved. And saying, hey, Jalen, like, what did you like from last year that we can add into the offense this year? He's getting input from Jalen Hurts of what he like, what do you want to keep in-house from what you did last year that's going to really help the offense? I think that's really good. It's not going to be all Kellen Moore. Most of the playbook, that's going to, you're putting in a brand new offense this year. It's not easy to do that. These what these players have to deal with, but I think they're more excited now. Chris says Lurie will never let the team be on Hard Knocks. I hope not. Western Philly says Graham has always been a great leader, teacher, but going to his final tour, I think he is really going to take more time to help out the young player. Yeah, and I don't think Brandon Graham's going to have some crazy year this year. I think he'll be disruptive, but I don't think he's going to have like a double-digit sack season. Bryce Huff is going to be a player this year. Okay, Bryce Huff is going to play really well. Now he only played 43% of the snaps last year, so he has 1 10-sack season off of a really heavy rotation. So he's got to get used to getting more snaps. But I've seen him work his tail off this offseason, like going crazy with his cardio and his bull rush off the line. We know that these ends are going to be in coverage this year. Bryce Huff is going to, at $17 million a year, by 25 by next year, he's going to do well this year. I think he will have a 10-plus sack season this year. I think he will. If he doesn't, then oh well. But Josh Sweat should have a big year this year. Josh Sweat's not going to be a Philadelphia Eagle after this year. He got restructured. His restructured deal was like 14 fully guaranteed, whatever it was. This is the last year for Josh Sweat. So really, whatever they're doing with Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, there's a lot riding on these. This edge group is going to be empty next year if nobody produces. You know? Let's go down the comments a little bit. Dale says Nick's job is in Kellen Moore's hands. If Kellen Moore is doing bad, don't you think Nick would say something? We need Nick and Kellen to have good. Oh no, I'm not worried about that too much. I think they do have a good relationship, but you need to see, like, when the chips are falling down, how do they react as a coaching staff towards each other? You know, that's going to be a whole nother thing, which I think is going to be fine. I don't think there'll be any issues with that. But I think Nick's job does depend on Kellen Moore. I believe it. But it's really tough for me to say because I think that a lot of the players really like Nick a lot. I just think, as Devontae Smith said at his softball, celebrity softball game, like, Nick is learning how to take a step back. Like, Nick needs to step back and let the coaches coach. Let your experienced coaches now do the work. And I think that's what the most important thing is right now. The last running back we paid was DeMarco Murray and Shady, if I'm remembering. Yeah, that's the last time we actually paid big money, yeah. Housecat says, Joe, you getting a Saquon jersey? I don't know what I'm doing. I was actually thinking about getting, I don't know yet. I was thinking about getting a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson jersey maybe this year. I don't know. Saquon, probably. Be nice. Dan Mullen said, we're trying to change Jalen too much. When he was Jalen ever dumped off to a running back, we need Jalen to look at read 1, then 2, then take off. Jalen isn't a pocket passer. But I think he showed us that in 22 that he can be a pocket passer. But obviously, when you run QB draws early in the season and you get the guy hurt where he has a knee injury, you lose that element to your offense if Jalen hurts his legs. I think that's a huge difference. But guys, like, if the news is right and Jalen Hurts is having a meeting with Nick Sirianni every week by himself, quarterback and head coaches meet every week, okay? And you're saying, hey, we need more intermediate passes. We need to use middle of the field more. And if Nick is not going to help your quarterback, Nick just swept it under the rug and just said whatever. Like, the only thing with Jalen Hurts that has to change is, I think, the turnovers have got to stop because, you know, he threw some pretty bad passes last year. I'm not going to let him get out of that. But that's what you're putting the quarterback in that situation every week. And you're not running the football. You're running, remember, like, why are you running play action, play action, play action? Like, you don't run the football. Like, you have to run the football you have to run the football to actually have play action to work. It makes no sense. How many times are you going to run play action pass when you're not running the football? No one's going to bite on it. No one bites on play action because we're not running the football. So I put a little bit, just a little tiny bit of crap into Jalen Hurts when it came to how he played last year, but I got the coaching staff, they didn't, like, what did they do? I had people come in, like, after the season was over, I had people coming into the comment section, into these live chats and saying they would totally ignore the coaching staff and be like, oh, Jalen Hurts needs to go. Jalen Hurts, they put all the blame on him before they even touched the coaching staff or saying anything about the coaching staff. That really pissed me off. But you know what I mean? It's like, it pisses me. Like, we're talking about play design. Remember the last play of the Seattle game where literally they told Jalen Hurts to throw an underthrown ball to AJ Brown to get a flag. Not trying to make a play, not trying to actually throw him the ball and make a play. They literally told him to chuck it downfield, underthrow it to AJ Brown for a penalty. It was a penalty play. And that's what Jalen Hurts said at his press conference, the post-game press conference. He's, oh yeah, they told me to try to throw the underthrown ball to get the penalty. Like, you're telling your quarterback to underthrow it just to get a penalty on the last play of the game or to keep this thing going? I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. Totally ridiculous. Come on, man. Nick couldn't give up play calling to anybody else. Like, there was nobody else with experience. I figured Brian Johnson, because he was next to Shane Steichen's side, that he had his own offense, that he was gonna open the playbook for Jalen Hurts, and it never happened. Then find out the truth that Brian Johnson was just the title of coordinator, just sitting there with Nick's playbook in his hand all year. So there's only so much I could blame Jalen Hurts on. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm not happy with Nick Sirianni right now. I haven't been since really we didn't play good all year last year. 10-1 or not, record is record. They didn't play good last year. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Matt says they gave the coaching staff a slap on the wrist. Yeah. I mean, once the year was over, Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie sunk their teeth into making huge dramatic changes. I didn't expect them to make that many changes at all. KG says, has Johnson ever talked about how he feels about Sirianni? No, not that I know of. No. Truly and honestly, no. There's some of the blame that goes to Jalen as well. Be any good QB would not do if they would get on that field, look at the receiver and call something he likes. Look at the talent you have, and these are the plays that you call. Like, we're seeing the same plays every week. Your substitutions are, when you substitute players on the field, you know what I hated the most was not running the football enough. DeAndre Swift would run through the fucking secondary, get a big first down, run with him one more time for a few yards, and then they would just sub him out. It'll be 2nd and 2, 3rd and 1, and they take DeAndre Swift out, they put Gainwell in, and then teams know, we know what they're going to do with Kenneth Gainwell because this is what they do all the time. I mean, they made the substitutions obvious last year. Like, way too obvious. That dude chugging down Swords Squad, man. It's a hot route. Learn them, use them. Yeah, it's on route combinations. Like, everybody's running a go route, or like they're running a straight line, still running. Jalen Hurts has no time to throw the ball because defenses have figured out what you're doing. The cover zero blitz killed us last year, and we never adjusted to it. Nick never adjusted. You clinched a playoff spot. You could have clinched it way earlier. You clinched a playoff spot last year, had all that time to get your offense prepared, and you still did the same shit. You know the only thing that happened in that Tampa Bay playoff game that was different? They threw middle of the field a couple times in that game to Devontae Smith, and he literally got from, I don't know how many yards Devontae Smith had in that game, but he was obviously the best player on the field. They threw middle of the field to him a couple times. They actually threw a couple slants to him, and he tore up that defense, got to the other side of the field on like 2 plays. You know? Ron, what's going on, man? Say, oh, yeah, we back, baby. What's good, Shakes? How we feeling? What top 2 players are you most excited for? Going into really this year, I mean, I mean, if you're talking about just going to the season in general, like I'm excited about Saquon Barkley. I'm excited to see who's the wide receiver 3 this year. And actually, we're going to be like producing at that position and hopefully getting an upgrade over Quez Watkins. I know Zacchaeus doesn't make sense because I thought they never gave Zacchaeus an actual chance, to be honest with you. I'm excited about a lot of things, dude. A lot of things. West Coast Philly said, I saw the Seahawks game live and in person. It was even more painful being at the game. I can't even imagine, dude. I can't even imagine. Daniel says, that's what I'm saying. Jalen could have changed the play after seeing the defense he got. Yeah, and there were times where he did check out. There were times he did have control over audibling to another play, and he did. Like, there were times when Jalen Hurts, it would be second, third, and short. Like, to say third and short, you don't run a slant, you don't run nothing. You throw a 70-yard bomb. This is the shit that I couldn't stand last year. Second, third, and short, making it so hard on your offense. And you're throwing a 70-yard bomb downfield. It's like a cop-out play. It's like you're just trying to get these quick yards, not really working for it. Lob the fucking ball 70 yards downfield on a second, third, and short. Why? I mean, God, that season was such a, stressful every single game. Every time the offense had a chance to put a team away, like when the Eagles get the ball with like 2 minutes left, 2.5 minutes left, and they have that chance to put a team away, they're throwing, they run a screen pass, then they're throwing a goal route downfield another 2 times, like stupid plays to keep the clock rolling. Clock management was a joke with this team last year. A joke. Beyond. Hated it, dude. Hated it. It's hard watching that. I'm gonna be an asshole this year. I'm gonna be a complete asshole this year. And people are gonna like me or dislike me, whatever it is. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, you know, I'm gonna give this like a couple weeks. Like the Brazil game, they come back. You know, I'll give this 2 to 3 games the most on getting their shit together, that this offense runs fluid. Because if it doesn't, I'm telling you right now, I'm not holding back. I told everybody after the 49ers game, we were exposed. We didn't fight at home, and they literally put us in a casket and buried us alive 6 feet under. I said, if we lose against the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to turn to a different fan that nobody's going to like. And what that fan is the true fan that is not going to go by the trends of shit. Because I don't go by any trend. I don't just, let's just give it a few more. No. There's no time for this. Let's just give it a few more weeks. After they lost to San Francisco last year, the one thing they had on their side was time to fix it. And they just didn't. Eagles fan, Johnson knows the team from front and back. Washington has a little bit of an upper hand. If Jane Daniels does his job, they will be a problem. Yeah, Washington has only been struggling with not getting the right quarterback in the room. They have a pretty good roster. Their offense is pretty damn good. No quarterback. Now, we'll see what happens. If they trade for Brandon Ayuk, that's going to be a big move. I feel like Brandon Ayuk's going to go to Washington. I hope that doesn't happen. But we'll see. Forte says, if Goddard goes hot, Jalen has to say why not. Yeah, so I think tight end is one of the worst positions this year offensively. You have no depth. Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert needs to stay healthy for, he's always missing 4 to 6 games a year. Okay, even if it's not his fault, I get it, but he's got to stay healthy this year. Because really behind him, You traded for Albert O, did nothing with him. As soon as Dallas Goedert had the broken forearm, they totally ignored the position. Like, they totally ignored the tight end position. You can't ignore a position after someone gets hurt. So what? You sign Albert O again. Hopefully he shows us something in training camp. Okay? You have CJ Usamwa, or CJ, whatever his name is, that came from the Jets. Hasn't played good in a few years. 31-year-old tight end. Grant Calcaterra is an injury-prone mess at this point. Can he stay healthy this year for once without a concussion, without a calf or an elbow or a shoulder? That guy's been hurt nonstop every single week. I think tight end is very bad right now. I think next year is where they upgrade. Dallas Goedert, if he doesn't stay healthy, I don't know. He's got a couple more years left. He's 28 years old right now. His contract runs through when he's 30 years old in a couple of years. So, got to figure it out. Philly 416, Kellen Moore will use Yak just well. Oh, 100%, dude. I mean, I love how he uses the running backs in the receiving game. The receivers, like, look at the charts. Like, look how he did. Look what he did. What's his face from the Chargers? The best receiver that's been there for years. That went to the Bears because they wouldn't pay him more money. I forgot his name. Somebody remind me. He had his best year under Kellen Moore in his career under Kellen Moore as a wide receiver. Why am I forgetting his name? I'm having a brain fart. Somebody tell me. I know somebody's gonna know because I'm stupid. Keenan Allen. There you go. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Daniel. Keenan Allen had his best year under Kellen Moore. This is the best roster on paper. We're just talking on paper. I think theoretically, this is better than CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup and what's his face that went to the Browns. I think this is better. This is way better. This is the best on paper roster he's had in years. So have fun, dude. Have fun. Buzz Bro say, hey, Joey, love your content. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it so much, man. Much love. Without you guys, the channel is nothing without you guys. Eagles fans, Jalen Carter will be an all-pro. Nobody can block that kid. He was killing Trent Williams. They had to chip him. Brock got rid of the ball quicker. He bull rushed him twice. That kid is, oh, no. I mean, yes, 100%. Like, Jalen Carter is a beast. is a total beast, no doubt. I'm excited. I'm excited for him. He's not, let me tell you something. He's no joke, man. Matt, I'll never forget the Seahawks game last year, especially since it was the same day me and my mom and brother got in a car accident. Thankfully, oh, damn. Sorry about that, man. I think I remember you telling me that. Well, I'm glad you're okay. Glad everybody's okay. Dan says, we'll be prepared to have your hopes crushed because it's going to take up to 7 weeks to get this offense on board. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping it really doesn't. Because I will jump off a bridge, man. I swear to God. I will. Yes, Fox, I'm using OBS, yes. But I watch your content because how straight you are. Well, I am straight. There's nothing wrong with not being straight, but I am straight. we more fans like you. I appreciate it, man. I'm a straight line, bro. That's all you're going to get out of me is a straight line. So, I'm here to just I'm just here to vent about my team. That's it. I'm not a reporter. I'm not trying to be professional. I'm not trying to, you know. That dude, Chucky Stover, says, I honestly think if the game slows down a little bit for Hurts, he will be a force to reckon with. I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts and how good. I'm not worried. How many Jalen Hurts videos did I do this year? This offseason. How many did I do? And say, how many videos did I have? Can Jalen Hurts do? I did one video, and that was literally a few days ago. because I'm not even worried about it. This coaching staff is gonna see how they push Jalen Hurts and what they take from last year, all the new, what they incorporate in the new offense this year. We'll see how it goes. If you jump off a bridge, can you take Nick? Damn, you want me to jump off a bridge? That's kind of messed up, but all right. Marriage Designer said, "This is the year. I honestly feel that way. That way, we have all the pieces and nobody believes in us. That's the best part. Just keep us as the underdogs, bro. That's it. That I don't want, like, they could talk great things about us, but we need to prove it, man. Because really, the one thing that's keeping us the way it is right now, like everybody talks about is that how we looked like last year. But then I hear about Kellen Moore, like, being involved in the offense from a lot of sports writers, and they say really good things like, Kellen Moore is going to change the offense, and, we'll see. The one thing I would love is Kellen Moore to win a Super Bowl with this offense and really throw it in Cowboy fans' faces. We just love it. We got a super chat from House Cat. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it so much. Beyond. Says, love the content, my dog. Glad the store and shakedown is getting successful. Can't wait for the season. We will be here. Go Birds. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, appreciate the love, man. And the Philly Shakedown podcast store is in the link below. We are coming out with a new line of merch for July, for the end of this month, and more merch in August. We have some crazy stuff in August that you're really gonna like. I'm kind of naming it like the redemption line. The 29th, I'm going to actually do a live stream when the merch comes out on the 30th. The 29th, I'll do a live stream that night, and I will actually show you guys what the merch looks like and see what you guys think before it releases. And we put a lot of work into it, so appreciate you guys. And by the way, when it comes to merch, guys, there are a lot of people out there. You're not getting a shirt that's going to be like 3 different texts on a word and you're going to get charged over $30 for it. If we're going to charge you guys, obviously, for T-shirts, it's because it's premium quality. The designs are premium quality. They're not shit like, that's what I have to say about that, because I feel like selling merch is a great thing, and we don't want to sell a shitty product. I have like 6-7 of the shirts that we sell that I'm going to be wearing. I'll probably wear a shirt tomorrow. So, appreciate everybody's been supporting that, by the way. Everybody. If that makes sense. Nate said, the only thing I'm worried about Jalen is being nudged over the middle after last year. Those plays, I didn't know how he couldn't have a complex about it. Yeah, I think all that's going to change, man. When it comes to his protection and creating ways to get guys open early, like throw to a receiver in open space, like, and let him do the work for Jalen Hurts. Like, everything has to be a 70-yard bomb downfield? No, of course not. It's going to be very diverse. Buy a shirt. It's not shit. Look, I don't lie to anybody. I've washed those shirts. Now, if you're buying shirts for your girlfriend or any women out there, the women's sizes do run small. So if your girl's a medium, get her a large. If she's a large, get her an extra large. They do run small. So just letting you know. Says Joey, how much of the offense game plan do you really need with the offensive line and top 5 back? Just run the ball, cannot stop the Eagles unless you go stack the box. Yeah, I mean, because of our personnel, everything should open up. The game plan with the offensive line is it's simple, but because it's the way that Jeff Stallin's going to get these guys prepared. And with a 3-down back now, like an actual 3-down back, Miles Sanders got 1,000 yards here. DeAndre Swift never had a 1,000-yard season. He got 1,000 yards in Philadelphia, and he broke it the second to last game of the season, which is completely BS, which is completely pretty embarrassing, honestly, because he should have had it earlier. But, this team doesn't like running the ball that much. They like treating Kenneth Gainwell like he's a dual threat back. I don't know why either. They treat Kenneth Gainwell like he's I don't get it. Okay. Will Shipley, I'm excited about. We got Matt Weeks. Welcome to the camper tier, man. Thank you so much for joining up, dude. Thank you so much for becoming a member. If you guys haven't become a member, definitely check the pinned comment above. We're going to be doing some other content behind the scenes on there. So appreciate it so much, Matt. Much love, dude, as always. Joe says Eagles going to be first in rushing yards. They could. Ron says, well, you need Jordan Davis to show up this year. If he pops off, we should be really good hands, especially up front. I know everybody fell off. The defensive line fell off last year as a group because of coaching. But I got to say this. Like, Jordan Davis, I expect him to be the run stuffer that he was last year. But, man, that pass rush, he was rushing the passer so well. I mean, Jordan Davis showed just so much more. Him and Milton Williams have been working their tail off this offseason together. I'm hearing great things about every player. Jordan Davis is in shape. Jordan Davis looks fast. All this stuff about Jordan Davis. He looks slimmer. Apparently, he didn't lose weight. He just got more lean. So replacing fat with more muscle is a great thing. Dan said, like the Philly special merch, put a name on it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, there's too many people out there that want to just make quick money. Like, obviously, you want to make money. Like, look, we're not going to lie. Like, we want to make money from things. When you work at a job or when you're selling something, of course you want to make money from it. And I'm being honest. But don't sell a shit product and charge somebody premium for it. If I'm going to charge somebody premium for something, you get for what you pay for. Okay, you're getting obviously a higher quality shirt, a higher quality print, and me and Philly talk to our artist lives in Florida. Diehard Eagles fan, is a big supporter of both our channels. We talk to him all the time, and we go through all designs we want to do, and we have a really good artist that does some really good work. We want to give you a big design on a premium quality shirt and not overcharging for shit. If I'm going to pay, you know what I mean? If I'm going to pay $40, $40 to $50 for a steak, okay, it better be it better be a porterhouse. It better be an up quality fucking piece of meat, because, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Do we still have Devin Allen? I honestly have no idea if he's on practice. I don't know, actually. The big problem with Devin Allen right now is that he's this Olympic crap that he does. It's ruining. Like, he had an injury last year because of that before he got to training camp. I honestly have no... Dude, that's actually a good question. I honestly don't know if he's actually on the practice squad right now. I didn't see his name, but I could be wrong. How could Joey and 500 would bend us over and support him? Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, dude, like... I mean... We wouldn't do that, but, Sean said, it will take some time for the offense to gel when you consider winning ugly every week last year, and the amount of weapons on this offense will be able to get away with a lot. Well, yeah, I mean, the great thing about what happened last year was the Eagles played. How many times did the Eagles play in rain last year? Bad weather game. The Eagles win in bad weather conditions. Most of this roster is still here, which is great. The Eagles know how to win close games, which is it's a great thing to have that. But when it happens every single game, I think the biggest close game that we had was that Bills game. That Bills game was friggin' insane, dude. The 40, what was it? You got a field goal. Jake Elliott, I mean, Justin Tucker 2.0. I mean, come on now. I mean, Jake Elliott has become Justin Tucker status now. Or Chris Tucker, or what's his name? I don't know what the kicker from Baltimore. It's almost close. So we'll see. Donnie says, "Up, Joey. Got a feeling Jeff Stoutland is going to polish Mekhi Becton up real." Dude, Mekhi Becton is good. Dude, just imagine, like, you acquire a first-round talent that has talent. It's there. They pull that out of him. They keep him healthy. Mekhi Becton is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, at 25 years old, Mekhi Becton is 25. 25. Haven't even reached his prime years yet. A guy that could play guard right now. I mean, he's been the backup pretty much for every position besides center. He's been the primary backup. Pretty much. I like the offensive line group. Okay. Trevor Keegan, hopefully he's healthy going to training camp. I know he missed some days of mini camp. Trevor Keegan's a 3-year starter. National championship. Guy that can fill in that right guard spot as well. Dylan McMahon could be your Sua Opeta type guy that could play because he plays both guard spots and he's been a center as well. So I'm excited for Dylan McMahon. Tyler Steen, wondering what's going to happen with him this year. You know, he had to eat some crow last year. He started a couple games for Cam at right guard and, you know, didn't play good, didn't play bad, but I thought he played okay. You know, you got to get thrown to the fire. I mean, that's the only way you pretty much, learn. Personal attributes is Dolphins aren't really in my top 3 favorite animals. What is going on? Reese Black with Good Vibes channel says, my boy Joey Shakes. What's going on, dude? House got Joey and 500 aren't screwing anyone. They're legit supplying us with good shit. They honest, man. Don't disrespect that with shit like Jake Paul. What happened with Jake Paul? By the way, I'm looking forward to that Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. To be honest. No, we don't try to screw anybody over. That's the one thing. Like, I see other people doing it and it's horrible. I see other people doing it. Like, I'm very honest with shit. I don't care because I don't look at other people's content. I get messages from people all the time of people say certain things and it's ridiculous. We don't do fake fucking giveaways. If we do get giveaways, we do actual giveaways. It's literally fucking embarrassing the way people do shit. I don't get it. And people just don't question it. I don't know how. I don't get it sometimes. But we're true to our heart when we put stuff out. So Matt Weeks, yeah, the dude is an idiot, seems to be hurt. Dynasty Joe, did you hear about the horror movie where the dude's a concert killing people? No, I have no idea. No idea. I guess we're still mad at our game against them last year. Karen says, who you got winning the wide receiver 3 spot? That's interesting. I think Ainias Smith is going to win it, dude. I think Ainias Smith is the open field killer. He catches so good in traffic. Ainias Smith at 5'9", 170 pounds. Like, Ainias Smith is the perfect size, toughness. I like Ainias Smith, but I'm obviously rooting for John Ross as well. Paris Campbell I like too, but I feel it's going to be between John Ross and Ainias Smith. But I think Ainias Smith will be taking that job. I like Ainias Smith a lot. Beyond. Karen Holmes says, would you sign Judon or Simmons? Depending on the contract and how much they want, it just depends. I like, the Judon rumors were happening last month, and then nothing really happened because of it. But to have Judon would be huge as a rental for the year. Why not? You're just looking for rentals. You're not looking for long-term contracts. Angela Steen will be backing up. Potentially, he could be. We need to see what they do in training camp. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, yes, I mean, he's going to make the roster. There's no doubt about it. But where he's going to be is going to be in question. And it's just Baldy glazing Becton has sold me. Yeah, he loves Mekhi Becton, however you say his name. Yeah, it did get pushed November. I think it was supposed to be in July. It was supposed to be in July, and they pushed it. If Mekhi plays up to his full potential, I mean, I mean, all I've been hearing is great things, like fantastic things. Like now when the pads come on, we'll see a lot more. But a first round talent at 25 on the last year of his deal, come on now. And if he plays good this year, like it's not going to be a big contract. Like if Lane Johnson retires in a couple of years, they could push him out the right tackle and then use Keegan or Tyler Steen, or I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. Shows to me too. I want to see John Ross play on this team due to 4.2 speed. I'm sure not hard to figure out how to use him. No, I mean, even if you use him on pre-snap motion and just use him as your speed guy, kind of how they really try to use, what's his face last year. Oh my God, I'm having brain farts on names today. It's not good. Britton Covey, they tried to use him on some stuff last year as a third down wide receiver. Like they tried adding his speed to the offense at the end of the year last year. Like they tried, but it totally failed. I like Britton Covey a lot. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. John Ross, even John Ross, the only thing we could see is him running these routes, during these activity drills. He still looks fast. He looks fast. He looks really quick. So John Ross is Devontae Parker. I didn't like the Devontae Parker sign. I never liked it. I never got it. Why they did it. I never liked that signing at all. I'd probably choose John Ross over Devontae Parker any day of the week. I don't know. I never liked that Devontae Parker signing. Carl says Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson is going to be interesting too, because I think Johnny Wilson is going to get playing time this year. Obviously, he's had some drop issues in college. Johnny Wilson has at 6, what is he, 6'7"? This is what we wanted. Tyree Jackson's a tight end, but that's what really, Tyree Jackson was supposed to be that guy at tight end behind Dallas Goedert, but he was always hurt. The guy from Florida that we liked, Trevon Grimes, that was another guy I really liked. And another guy that had really, really good size, length, and just couldn't stay healthy. Johnny Wilson could be used for red zone. What is he, 6'7", 250, 240 something? I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous size. So Johnny Wilson, I feel like will have some play time this year. He'll be used in red zone and things like that. I think he will. Nate says, Sidney is rumored to start on PUP. How long do you think that will take enough for when he comes back? I don't know. That's what we don't know. He's on PUP list. They don't think he's ready. He's close to ready. He's got to be close. He just needs a few more weeks. If he can make it before joint practices happen, in a couple weeks, if he can make it out, if he's just going to be gone for a week, then great. You know what I mean? We need him back as early as possible, because if he misses the whole offseason program, he's going to be way behind. So Andrew says Becton working with Stout and he's still young. Yeah, 25, dude. 25 years old. I forgot we had Pickett. Isaiah Javier says, "What up, Joey? How's it going, man?" You know what's going on, Isaac? I think, honestly, Pickett is going to be, I'm telling you, they're going to produce Pickett for a couple years, and they're going to trade his ass. That's what they're going to do. They're going to make him build up his value as much as possible, and I think they're going to trade him. I think legit they do like him. I think they did have interest that year where it was either giving Jalen Hurts another shot to be the starting quarterback, and obviously that was before we got A.J. Brown and all that stuff. Or, they took Kenny Pickett out to dinner, I remember. I know Howie didn't, but some lobster on the table. Nate says Covey might not make it. He's one thick thick. Sorry. I read it the wrong way. I'm not thinking what I'm thinking. I read it the wrong way. One trick pony though, especially with Rodgers and some others that can do it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Covey has like this crazy route tree skill set that everyone, I don't think he does either. I think somewhat you're, like I said, as a third down receiver, just for speed, I think he's fine. As someone you keep him in as a, full wide receiver, then I don't think as a full-time starter. I don't think so. No, but as a punt returner, he's pretty damn good. I'm waiting for that punt return touchdown by Britton Covey. He needs to get it this year. Kick return is going to be interesting this year too, with the new rules in place. It's going to be interesting. That dude, Chucky Stover, says, do you think Dean will step up at linebacker? I hope so. I'm actually just like, I'm kind of going through this offseason program, and I'm saying to myself, I'm just imagining that Dean is not even on the team right now until I get surprised by something. That's what I'm kind of going through right now. Who will return kicks if Covey gets cut? He ain't getting cut. I promise you right now, Covey's not getting cut. No. Covey's contract is up, I think, after this year. They might have to extend him. You're going to have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Covey. Friggin', what's his name? I think you only have 5, right? 5 receivers this year. I'm having a weird time because I haven't talked about these guys in a bit. Five or 6 receivers, I don't know, but Covey should make it 100%. Covey's not going anywhere. Not anymore. Kyle says, I'd rather have Pickett than Mariota. That's probably true. Mariota was god-awful. My God. $5.5 million. What did he get paid for the year? It was like $5.5 million for the year. Just to do nothing. Literally to not. Remember, what did he do? What game was it? He got into that game, and he threw a fucking pick 6 on a screen pass. Wasn't it a pick 6? Tom said, thank God we got confirmation Nick is out of the playbook. Now I'm just worried about D-line. At least we got the best guy that's running the Fangio scheme with Vic Fangio. House says, like the stream, y'all. Appreciate it, man. Damn all now. So I believe it's XFL kickoff implemented to NFL. Is that what it is? I mean, I don't know. Nate's his first live, knock off that rust. Yeah, a little bit. Because I haven't streamed by myself in a couple months. It's been a while. The first stream back. Appreciate everybody coming in today, though. Feds, I hope our offense stays healthy. Yeah, it's the UFL now, yeah. So the AA, American Alliance, whatever the hell it was, the AAF and the UFL, the AAF has jointed with the NFL, the UFL now. I mean, we still don't have a fucking Philly. I mean, no, we do have a Philly team. Is there a Philly team? Did they put the Philadelphia Stars in the UFL? Are they still in the UFL? I mean, I don't know. I don't really watch it, so I don't know. Tom said, I give up a 4th round pick for Hayward, but I'm not giving up a 2nd or 3rd or 4th. No way. No. They took the Philadelphia Stars out? Really? That's stupid. I think it is still the Stars, which I can't stand Philadelphia and a star on it. I know it's a different color. It's really hard for me to like have a star on a Philly helmet. Like it's really hard for me to even get by that design. So that's where it's at. It was a pick six. Yeah, he was god awful. The only thing Mariota could do is run. Other than that, he can't do anything else. He can't do nothing else. I think as of right now, like I'm like we have a few more days. It's gonna get crazy. Don't expect like I know a lot of people do this like during preseason. Like people are gonna say, "Oh my god, what kind of play calling is this?" Like people make a big deal out of play calls during preseason. Don't make a big deal out of play calls in preseason. Coaches aren't gonna put out their whole playbook in a preseason game. Now these starters have got. I mean, till we get to that point, they better play everybody. I'm not talking one series. I'm talking one quarter. They better play guys for a quarter in the first game or something. Let the guys play a half in the second game unless it gets too crazy. Then lessen it a little bit. But yeah. Nate says the United States Football League XFL officially combined, creating the newest incarnation of the United Football League, and stars are not part of it. Interesting. I mean, Philadelphia is a big sport. It's a bit. I mean, Philadelphia is huge. Like, why wouldn't they add a Philadelphia team? I don't get it. Times I knew the episode of Hard Knocks about Saquon was going to be good, but I was laughing my ass off. Giants, so pathetic. It's true. Don said I star on anything Philadelphia is like having a hot chick with a big nose. I got worried when he had to go in Hurts for a bit last year. Yeah, true. That dude Chucky Star versus Kenny Pickett got those scary movie strong hands. She said Mariota been look good at our camp in Ashburn. Henry is better than Barkley. I don't think that's true. Henry is a different type of back, though. Henry was almost in the same. I mean, I think Tennessee has had more success than the Giants have, and that's pretty fucking bad to say because these are two teams that literally have built around. I mean, Tennessee has built their offense around a running back, which is the last thing you should ever do. But they've had receivers, and they've just had bad quarterback play. You know, and a lot of injuries to their defense every single year. I think when AJ Brown torched the Titans, when he torched the Titans at home, that GM got fired the day after that game. Like he got fired the next day after what AJ Brown did to the Titans. It was great. That was the best. I mean, Jesus. I mean, for a move like that to happen in Philadelphia like that with AJ Brown coming here, like that was one of the big turning points of like that was just man. What a it's I mean, I know AJ Brown, like, you know, I know he thanks the Titans for everything what he's done in his career. But let me tell you something, dude. Like, he has really turned the page in Philadelphia, breaking records, and what he's done here already is just insane. Henry's washed. Philly Flower versus Tennessee put more around Henry. Yeah, that's true. That is 100% true. AJ changed us. He did. Tom, so you hearing any news on Quinyon Mitchell? He needs to start. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. First round pick play. I know, dude. The only problem we have right now is Isaiah Rodgers being in the building. Isaiah Rodgers has 3 years on Quinyon Mitchell right now in the league. That's the difference you have with Quinn. That's the difference you have with Isaiah Rodgers. Isaiah Rodgers is a starting caliber corner in the league. He's not crap. You know, like Isaiah Rodgers is really vocal on social media. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I promise you, I'm here to stay. I ain't going no. Like, he's very, like, he makes a lot of promises, but he's got to back it up, obviously. So, remember when Golden Tate came to us? Oh God, yeah, that was the trade. Well, we got him in the trade deadline, right? Was it the trade deadline? Like, it was like what did we give up for Golden Tate? Like a 4th round pick? I forgot what it was. God, he was. Then he went to the Giants and did nothing. Felix says Joey AJ Brown will have more receiving yards than CeeDee Lamb. It depends. The problem with CeeDee Lamb, he's the only receiver that they have, so they force feed him, so he gets more yards naturally. With AJ Brown being here, there's a lot of weapons. You have two. I mean, in my opinion, you have 2 number 1 receivers on this football team right now. It's really hard for AJ Brown to have more yards because he's not the only weapon that they rely on. You have weapons everywhere, you know. Nate says, man, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is back too. That's going to be fun. Yeah, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, it was a huge move, man. He knows he made a mistake not coming to Philadelphia last year. Whatever those contract negotiations, however that happened, because that was just the most confusing shit I have ever watched. You're bringing attitude back to Philly. Just having Chauncey in the back, just having Chauncey on the back end. That swagger is back. You're bringing an attitude, that pushback attitude back to Philadelphia. Because I'm telling you right now, if Chauncey was on that field last year during that 49ers game, you know, walking through our pre-warm-ups and pushing Bradbury around. I mean, come on, dude. Like, we showed nothing. Like, no fight. Nothing. Nobody did nothing last year. You know what I mean? It's crazy, dude. Matt says, so question, you think AJ retires an Eagle at the end or a Titan? Because I think he retired. Oh, he's not. You think AJ Brown's going to retire a Titan? after what they did to him and said, no, we're not giving you more money because hell no. Hell no. AJ Brown's in the history books. God knows what he's going to do a few years down the road. I mean, God forbid. I don't even know. We're in the height of our. We have to be very grateful for what we have. But this coaching staff is the weak link. This is the question mark, mysterious weak link we're trying to overcome right now. D-Max says TJ Edwards is our biggest L. Nobody replaced him yet. No, they let him walk. And he was balling out in Chicago, bro. Balling out. We got 136 in the chat right now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys have it. Definitely hit the like button on the stream if you guys have it either. Appreciate everybody joining up today for a stream. We are back. So I don't know how we're going to do the streams for the regular season. I think we're doing like 5 or 6 streams a week. Like, we're going to be streaming like Sunday twice, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So we're streaming a lot during the regular season. I already have a schedule for that. During, like, this week's going to be different because training camp starts middle of the week. So the shakedown will be streaming tomorrow. The shakedown will happen tomorrow. So me and Philly are back tomorrow night to obviously talk about everything. And then obviously we'll have videos every day. We'll be streaming the preseason games. We'll be streaming the regular season, everything. So it's gonna be really busy and all that great stuff. Become a member. Check the pinned comment above for extra content. Obviously, your custom emojis, emotes, all that stuff. And definitely check out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch. We're unveiling a new line next on the 30th. On the 29th, I'll be doing a stream to unveil the merch to see if, you guys like it or not, So appreciate so much for everybody, all the support. Everybody's been fantastic. Philly Flyover said, if anything bad happens this year, it ain't Howie's fault. He gave Jalen and Fangio everything he could and willing to give it. Oh, no, I don't put anything on Howie Roseman. No. Like, he's supposed to – Howie Roseman's job is to put the best roster he can together to go into the season with. And then the coaches have to coach, you know? Let's see here. James Jones, if Dallas other weapons can step up, they'd be all right, but it feels like they collapsed to the season. No, they did nothing, dude. Like they need like their offensive line, I think, took a step back this year. Their offensive line's taking a step back this year. I mean, wide receiver wise, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing besides CeeDee Lamb, not getting paid yet because we're still waiting on that. There's already rumors Dak Prescott's going to get a $60 million a year extension. Nothing crazy. I mean, nothing crazy. They weren't the Dallas Cowboys don't make moves like when they got Brandon Cooks and like that was like they don't do shit like that. When they do that, everybody, when they got Gilmore and Brandon Cooks, they were like so excited because they don't make moves in free agency. But they didn't do anything. Even the draft, like they made moves to secure their offensive line for the next. They made some moves. They made some down the line moves for the draft. They didn't draft for this year. They made moves to where it's going to take a few years. I don't think they drafted anything this year for me that's really going to go in right now and help Dak Prescott. And that's just me. Yeah, training camp starts training camp starts this Wednesday. Philly Flowers said, if anything happens this year, I ain't Howie's fault. He gave Jalen Fangio everything he could and willing to give more. Dante Joe, you think we shine Sue for veteran DT depth? Maybe down the line, not now. Tell 500 to stop buying Crapple lap props. Oh, yeah, his laptop is all screwed up. Well, dude, like, Apple is just... I told him on the phone. I called him. I said, dude, stop buying Apple products, dude. Like, stop paying extra for Apple. I built a computer. I built my own PC to whatever I want it to be, and I haven't had any issues with it. The only thing I do every month is clean it. I take it apart and clean it. That's all I do. That's it. Matt said, yeah, after the BS Titans pull on AJ 100%. Ron said, I'm going to keep it a stack. I don't think Saquon is going to retire a Giant. Man. I want him to dominate so bad, dude. I want him to dominate so bad. Yeah, 24th. Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday at 10 o'clock, I think. So Nick Sirianni is going to talk to the media at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And then I think practice starts at 10. So I'll have videos every day of training camp, what happens, everything that happens, the lineups, what everything's looking like. So, stay tuned. Famous this year, who will be our 53? Who will be our 53-man roster? I'm not going to go over 53 right now. Like later on, I'll do some final 53s. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm really worried about like what we have, where guys are lined up, what it looks like, who's beating who's not doing well. So we'll see. Oh yeah, keep forgetting we have Matt Hennessy. Matt Hennessy or Tyler Steen for what though? For guard? Probably Tyler Steen. I'm going with the young talent. Dank Birds, what's going on, dude? What's going on, dude? I'm actually going to be getting some food soon. I need to get some chicken quesadillas from the deli and a pizza box because I'm starving. I'm starving tonight. I had a MacBook Pro laptop. They purposely put a capacitor on the graphics card that is half what is needed to do things burn up. That was it for me. That's why I don't buy it. The only Apple product I buy is an iPhone. That's it. I only buy iPhones. That is it. Thanks says, if you're on your phone, you can use the space bar to move the cursor when typing. Tom said, just want to see Jalen smiling and vibing with Kellen Moore come season time. Hell yeah. Chicken quesadillas, bro. So they make me a big pizza box. This is called a large chicken quesadilla, and they're pretty big. I usually get the Philly cheesesteak with the peppers and onions there, but eh, not really a big fan. Dan, so you aren't going to put the defense on Howie. There's so many questions that defense now. You did try to do stuff, but there's still a bunch of questions. Yeah, I mean, I get there's questions, but I think if you have the right coaches that produce the players in this offseason program, you should have no issue at cornerback. You should have no issue at nickel. You should really have no issue at safety. Linebacker is still in question. Your edge rushers are still in question with Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith doing nothing. Jalen Hunt being a rookie and obviously as a third-round pick and Nolan Smith not really producing. Their coaching is going to be, that's in question. It's all in question right now. I think Howie did as much as he possibly could. You got two guys for your secondary. You got a Malcolm Jenkins type player and Cooper DeJean at your Swiss Army knife. Like you shouldn't have an issue coaching this defense. You shouldn't have an issue. But like I said, this is another year, another new coordinator. This is how it goes. Nobody's off the hook. Famous says, "Sir, if y'all ready for the season to start back, say yo." D-Mac said, and stutter every other word with his run on sentences. What are we talking about here? Milt Williams, Josh Sweat. He says, I'm in Richmond, for work right now. No food in this town. Cold IHOP is the best I got so far. I haven't had IHOP. I mean, I thought IHOP places were dying. And then I see like who pays for breakfast anymore? Like who goes out, like buying, obviously inflation's crazy right now, but who goes out and actually goes out for, I don't know when's the last time I went out for breakfast, because it's just like, obviously if you can afford it, just do it. I don't care. I'll go out for breakfast if I really wanted to, but do I? Not really. Once in a while. Dan, so I'm super excited about the season, but I don't want to get my hopes up. I get it, dude, but don't worry. I'm going to keep this team in check this year. Dangbird says, plus we're winning games and making the playoffs. There's plenty of teams who would have our situation. Yeah, so those players have been good, but haven't been impactful. So as of right now, we're in a trance right now. Like we're in a big mystery, big question mark time. Few more days. We have training camp. We got to see what this coaching staff is pushing our players, what players are doing well, where they're moving guys to certain positions. The cornerback group is probably one of the most important groups. Trading Bradbury, Isaiah Rodgers, what's going on with, there's so much going on. Right guard, wide receiver 3, So we'll see what happens. We got to play a Brazil game, which really sucks on Friday night. But it is what it is. We're not. All right, so can someone tell me, because I haven't looked at the schedule in a while. I will be honest. I haven't looked at it since it literally came out. We don't play on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, or Christmas this year. We don't play on 3 of those holidays this year, which is great. I hate streaming on the holidays. I can't stand it. I hate having to. I like watching football on the holidays, but I can't stand streaming those days. It's just the truth. Being around family is very important to me. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if we do those holidays. I don't think we do. So that's where I'm at. But I'm excited. We'll see what happens this week. We'll have the videos out. Dank says no holiday games. That's great. That's like great in my book. No holiday games this year. It's awesome. So, we're probably gonna end the stream. I'd say, right? 2 hours already. 140 people in the chat. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Go get a membership if you guys haven't. Like the stream if you guys haven't. I had I had some other thing that when I switched screens with OBS, I had like this transition that looks really cool, but unfortunately it's not working. I have to fix it. So I had to keep it out of there. Hope Hope you guys are excited. I'm glad for all the people that joined up tonight. I really do appreciate it. I didn't know how many people were going to be in here tonight because I know people are on vacation. People are doing things. But I love you all. I missed all you guys. Missed all of you guys. And I'm glad, it was nice to take a break from streaming and kind of just do videos and, Shakedown tomorrow. Me and Philly are back tomorrow night. It feels like it came really quick, these streams. So, and we'll be back tomorrow. You guys have a fantastic day, and see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you check the link in the description for the Philly Shakedown podcast merch, all that great stuff, and see you guys around. You guys enjoy. Like I said, Shakes what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace. Love you all. Peace out.